Ew. Okay, so the clock still is going and it says that I'm live, so this may start a little late. Hello. So, how's everybody doing today? Sunny, beautiful day. Life is good. We're vertical. It's fine. However, I got some things on my mind this week. And the first one is on the top of my list greed. So, you know that greed is one of the seven deadly sins, or they call them the cardinal sins. They're basically long, long time ago, they were set up as the seven foundations of things that we should not be doing because they're bad things. And this week, I got to see a lot of greed this week, and I've you always see greed. Everybody sees greed, and even in the aging business, we see a lot of greed when somebody gets something and they say, "Well, I want one of those." Well, why? Well, because they got one. Do you need it? No, but I want one. A perfect example of greed. So we've got this little gas thing going on right now, and it's a perfect example of greed. Now, you may say fear, you may say whatever the case may be, but in the end, it's really about greed. And so you know that I like to look up these words and trying to find the origins and the true definition because sometimes we get so politically correct that we redefine what words mean. So greed really is just nothing more than a selfish desire to have more of something. It's a form of coveting, and coveting just means I want something because you got it. And sometimes it really annoys me, the greed, because greed is really ugly. It really is. And sometimes we see a lot of ugly, particularly when it comes to some of our seniors and how people who are surrounded around seniors are greedy and want some of that. I've actually heard people say, "Oh, I can't wait till they die because I'm going to get that." My Lord, that is, woo. Um, but it's really greed is nothing more than really just a conflict between personal and social norms or social goals, of again that desire to have more of something, even though you don't need it. Kind of like toilet paper. I bet you, and there may be some of you today who still have tons of toilet paper in your house. um, just like with the gas and that greed this week really has had a little bit of an impact on us because when the transportation system is running low on gas, they call us and say, hey, you're going to have to limit some of the people you have to get to medical appointments and just use the important ones. Well, they're all important, but nonetheless, if you had to go to the foot doctor this week, you probably got canceled because gas was in shortage. So all these people who went out and just sucked it all up, really hurt people who really needed it. For example, our volunteers. We have some of our volunteers who may not be financially well off. That gas is kind of a normal expense for them. And then when they can't get the gas, I can remember in my younger days, when you put $2 in the gas, $3 in the gas just to get you from day to day to day. There's still a lot of people who live like that, and that may be hard for some people to accept, but that's the reality. Is there are people who do still live day to day, and so that greed of taking away the gas hurt people to deliver our meals. We have people call and say, hey, I can't deliver today because I have any gas and there's no gas around me. So greed is just something that just drives me crazy, which kind of dovetails into the whole selfish thing. And that whole selfish is really just being concerned excessively or exclusively just with me. It's all about me. And you'll hear many times where I personally don't like when it's about me. I don't like the even the spotlight. People say, "Well, you're always in the spotlight." It's really not for me because I don't really care. There's nothing in it for me, but it's what I represent here, and it's really about the community and serving and making sure that the awareness and the spotlight is on the activities and not the individual. but that selfishness continues just to always rear its head everywhere, and the more and more you see of it and you become aware of it, you notice the amount of selfishness and self-centered is it kind of ultimately it's about me. And there's a great scripture passage that I'm always reminded of, and it says, and this I will read, it says, be content with such things as you have. The greedy and selfish person do not believe that because it's never good enough what I have. I need more. I need more for me. I need more for my family. I need more for this. I need more. I need more. I need better. And they become so consumed with the justification of their selfishness that they forget about the bigger picture. And it bothers me. Maybe not for you, but just for me. But in the end, it is about generosity and the generousness and being generous, because generosity cures greed. Wow, I like that one. Generosity cures greed. Being generous eliminates greed, because now you're not thinking about wanting more, you're more interested in giving more. So by putting the desire to help others above storing up your own treasures for oneself is generosity. And we are surrounded by generous people. During this little mini gas crisis that will go away in another week or two, just like, well, we're going to flatten the curve in 2 weeks. Okay, we are going to flatten the curve on the gas in 2 weeks. We're already starting to see some of it come back. But that first knee jerk reaction brings back to who we all are, including myself. We're all greedy. We're all selfish. We're all self centered. But we need to continue to focus on the generosity that cures that disease. And greed is a disease because it can become very consuming for people. Because I want this today, I want this tomorrow, the next day, and it becomes a part of who people are. So today is a little bit of an intervention for those who might have the disease, and I got the cure. And we saw it this week with people who volunteered and took two routes. People who did have the gas, people who did have the means. And again, the generosity of here, of every time, we sent out the bat signal, whoop, 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 help, warning, warning, Will Robinson. People have responded. And I continue to be amazed at people who put their treasures aside of what's important. Um, and again, all of us, we have friends, we have families, I get all of that, but sometimes the greater good, the generosity of people who do for the general good is overwhelming. And we've had a number of those kind of people who stepped up this week and really helped. So I want to thank you to the generous people out there, because generosity always outshines greed and selfishness and self-centeredness. Yeah, there are pet peeves and there are people who really bug us and bother us, but let's be encouraged by the people who are generous. They far outnumber the greedy people. We just sometimes focus on the blemishes of life, like we'd be looking at a fancy piece of art and say, oh, yeah, there's a little speck. It's still a piece of art. Who cares about the speck? These greedy and selfish people, they're specks. They're specks. Let's focus on the generous people who are out there and continue to thank them and be amazed at how we are graced by their blessings that they provide to all of us. So this week, enjoy a nice weekend. Let's see, no Mother's Day. Oh, we can start celebrating Father's Day because that's coming up too. So, all right, it's a month away or whatever, but still we can get ready for it because it's an important day. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you for all you do to help continue to advocate and serve the seniors in our community. This has just been Rich, playing Rich. See, that's my little frame box. Rich saying peace out.